I'm going to talk to you about picking one of your two methods here for deciding to go in, or when you're going into this business. Then we're going to talk about calculating the value, and we'll wrap up kind of this whole video here. Really, you have two options when you go into buying gold. You kind of can work on a high margin or you can work on a low margin. All right, now we're going to get into calculating the value of an item. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to use this bracelet that I've been using throughout the whole video as an example. We're going to calculate the value of it. I'm going to show you step by step how to calculate what it's worth, and then show you how to calculate what to pay a customer. Okay. First off, we're going to need to know the spot price. For this example, I'm going to use $1,700 an ounce. Next, we're going to need to know the carat. So this is where you're going to enter it after you've tested the item and you know the carat of the piece. In this case, it's 14. Then, if you want to know the 100% value, we have one equation, then we have one for what you pay a customer, and then I have one for what a refiner is going to pay you. So we have value, customer, and refiner. The equation is pretty simple. So let's take this here. The weight, and then this. I got ahead of myself here. The weight of the item, the weight, and then we have our three different ones we'll go over here. So this item, putting on a pocket scale right here, nice and easy, weighs 8.9 grams. Being that it's 14 karat, we're going to use 58.3%, 0.583 for your calculation. So there's a couple ways you can calculate it. My preference, it's math. A lot of times you're going to get there the same way. So to calculate though, first it's 100% value. This is just the gold value of the piece. We're going to take 1,700 times 0.583. Then we're going to, I'll do this with you actually as I get the calculator here. I'll actually put all the math out here first. Instead of doing one long equation, we'll do it step by step here. 1,700 times 0.583, we've got 991.1. This is what an ounce of 14 karat gold would currently be worth. 100% value of an ounce of 14 karat gold would be worth. So if you had 31.1 karat gold, it would have been worth $991. But we're trying to figure out what this item's worth in this way. So we're going to take this number, and like I said, there's 31.1 grams to an ounce. So we're going to divide this by 31.1. That equals, I'm going to move my equal sign over here, 31.87. This is price per gram of 14 karat, 100% value. Now, as you know, the refiner doesn't even give you 100% value. But just if you want to know 100% value of 1 gram of 14 karat is $31.87. So, if you times this by the weight, 8.9, this depends on whether you round it up here, 87, you may be a penny or two off here, but you're going to have $283.63. That is this one little item's 100% value right here. $283.63. Now, I'm going to try and leave this equation here and fit the next one in here. I'm going to show you the value of what a refiners are going to pay you based on 95%. So we're going to do refiner. Still going to take 1,700. Still going to times it by 0.583. Still going to have $991.10 an ounce. But then, right here, we are going to do one more additional step. We are going to times this number by 0.95. Because the refiner only pays us 95% of the value. So you got $991.10 times 0.95, and you get $941.55. $941.55. This is what the refiner would pay you for an ounce of 14 karat, which we will then divide by 31.1. And that will get you $30.27 a gram. So if we compare that to our $31.87, you can see that the refiner is going to pay us about $1.50 less per gram. So if I take this 30.27 times it by our weight here, you're going to get, and I'm going to write this over here just so you can see it, 269.44. 269.44. That's a difference of roughly $14. Not a lot, but it's still the difference. The 100% value, $283. The refiner's going to pay us $269. So, now that we know kind of roughly, really the only difference, I'll walk it through one more time. 100% value is our spot price times our carat, whatever it is. If that's going to be, if this were a 10 karat piece, it'd be 0.416. But we're using 14 karat, so spot times 0.583. Going to take that number and divide it by 31.1 to get how much it's worth per gram. This is our per gram value. So then we can times that by however many grams we have and get a value. 100% value. The only difference in the refiner equation is that we times this number by 0.95 to get 95% of the value. Now, when you're going to pay customers, it is identical except for one other thing we're going to change. You're going to take spot price, and I'll write this big, 1,700 times 0.583. Now, you'll get your number. I believe we had 991.10. Going to take this number, though, and we're going to times it instead of 0.95. You're going to times it by whatever you're paying that customer. Whether you want to pay them 70%, 75%, 80%, whatever you're paying. That's your choice, whether you're paying lower or higher. Totally up to you. In this equation, I'm going to use 75. I'm going to take 991. I'll draw it over here then. It's a continuation. Times 0.75 is going to get us 991.1 times 0.75 is 743.33 an ounce. That's what you're paying. for 14 karat gold? You're paying this $7.43 for an ounce of 14 karat. Then you do the exact same thing. We're just going to divide this by 31.1, and you are paying $23.90 a gram. That is what people are going to ask you. When you get into this business, people are going to call you and say, what do you pay for a gram of 14 karat? That is the answer you're going to give them, is $23.90 if you're paying 75%. If you're paying 80, it'll be higher. If you're paying lower. But that's how you come up with it. So whatever you're paying the customer, the only difference here is instead of 95% to figure out what a refiner is going to pay you, you put in whatever, percentage you're paying someone. Other than that, it's the exact same equation. Spot price, carat, whether that's 10, 14, 18, 22, whatever it is, you use that percentage here. Spot times carat percentage divided or times whatever percent you're paying divided by 31.1 equals your gram price. You can then take this, times it by 8.9. So in this case, $23.90 times 8.9 would be, see if I can get this up here where you can see it, $212 roughly. So on this piece, paying 75%, remember the refiner was going to pay $269, you're looking at a profit of $57. Not bad. I mean, really, that's a great return on your money for hardly doing anything. I mean, that's just one piece. If someone has an entire bag full of gold, imagine then what you're going to make on this bag. And I mean, it's not that hard to come. It won't be that hard to come by or find. This bag right here and this bag of stuff, this is like 270 grams of gold, and this is just what I bought yesterday in 2 hours. I didn't even, I wasn't even out buying the whole day, just the end of the day. I mean, so your money on this, and I mean, I think on this one, I was making 10% on this one. This is like $700 I made, because I made a little bit more off this other stuff here. But that was $700 at the end of the day there. Not bad when you're only working 2 hours. I mean,